Instead, let's raise the price for tipping. Let's raise money for lunches on tour or spending money, something smaller, but make sure that you've got some sort of an accurate goal. Decide who's going to participate, and that doesn't just apply to which students you want to participate. Also, try and delegate some of the responsibility out. As I said, the tour planning process can be a bit daunting. It's a lot of hard work for you in addition to your teaching workload. So delegate that responsibility out to a parent. Odds are you'll have someone in your group who has led some sort of a fundraiser before, so choose a coordinator. Also, establish a timeline. So when do you need that money by? When do you need to have that money into EF? And then finally, create a plan for your fundraising. As I said, we've got a great fundraising team in the office now. They've passed out a lot of ideas to us, and they can pass out even more to you. So if you're interested in working with them, you should mention that to your tour consultant. They've got a lot of great resources as well on the website. Our fundraising team developed a webinar that you can view on the website. And they've also got weekly fundraising tips. And then finally, I suggest you check out tipin.com. This is a great web resource. Basically, the idea is that you can see on the right, you'll develop some sort of a web page, tell the people what you're collecting for, how much you want to raise, and when you need it by, and then you can get the funds electronically put into a PayPal account. So then if you just pass the word around, send chain emails or anything like that, and word will trickle around amongst a huge group of friends. I'm sure that if you've gotten chain emails from people with horoscope things or anything like that, and you look all through, you'll see oftentimes they go to 500 or more people, so you can really touch a lot of people in this way. So now here's the part that I mentioned earlier that I'm sure you folks have been waiting a while for. We're going to learn some tips from Mr. Smith, our experienced group leader.
Well, thank you, Mr. Smith, for that. I'm sure he was able to give you a lot of information. Now that we have said he has talked about his past tours, we are now going to discuss what you might expect on your tour. You're on your way starting 48 hours prior to getting on the plane. So with any flights, you should always confirm the flight, especially when you're going with a group. Call in 48 hours prior to departure, make sure everything is going all right and your flight is going out on time. What I also suggest that you do is before you even get to this part, find out how you're getting to the airport. Are you close to the airport? Everybody can get there on their own? Or are you maybe about an hour away? Or should you get a bus? Should everybody get there on their own? I personally believe that people should come in together, especially when you have a larger group. There's always that one person that might be late. Please get to the airport 3 hours prior to your departure. When I'm traveling by myself, I get to the airport 2 hours prior to departure when I'm flying internationally because that's only me. But if you have a group of 18 and you have to check everybody in, you have to go through security, somebody might get pulled over, get through their bags, we want you to have plenty of time. If you are rushing, we don't want you to have to rush. We want this to be as smooth as possible. When you get to the airport, let the check-in agents know, I have a group of 18. Would it be easier for us to go into the group check-in? And this might go a little bit faster and a little smoother. It's not uncommon to have some type of delays. So there are two types of delays. We have mechanical delays as well as acts of nature. When it comes to mechanical delays, the airline's responsibility to get you onto the next flight. It is the airport's responsibility to get you on the next flight. If there are acts of nature, as if there's a snowstorm, if there's a hurricane, or a hurricane and the flights cannot go for safety reasons. This is the time where you should negotiate with the airlines to see how you can get to your final destination. You are your best advocate. You are there. Let them know that you are traveling with a group of students and that you are going on an international tour, that you need to get to a specific destination at a certain time. Let them know that you're willing to maybe go on different routes. Maybe you can get 15 of your students to go right now on a flight that's just leaving, or you can get another maybe 3 going in about a half an hour after them. Give them different types of offers to help them out. Always let EF know what is going on. Even if your flight's maybe only an hour has an hour delay, let us know. We need to know where you are at all times, so we can call the tour director so he knows what time to meet you. Be flexible. Take charge. And also realize the way that you present yourself in front of the airlines is also, your students will also follow suit. If you get a little frustrated, which it can be frustrating, if you get a little frustrated and short, your kids are going to get frustrated as well. So try to stay calm, utilize your 6-to-1 ratio, utilize your chaperones, have them maybe take the students someplace else to calm them down, or have them calling other airlines and calling other people with their cell phones to help the process go a little bit faster. Emergency contact list. We talked about emergency contact lists before. The EF will use this to let the parents update the parents if there's a delay longer than about 24 hours. I suggest that you photocopy important documents. I have 3 photocopies of my passport. One stays at home with my roommate, one is on my person, and my mother has the other one. I just like to have that, it makes me feel safe. I've worked with group leaders who actually go above and beyond that. They will photocopy everybody's passports, they will photocopy their license or another photo ID, and maybe sometimes even their birth certificate. That seems a little bit excessive, but one of my group leaders who does this with every single tour had an experience that could have gone a little bit hairy. He was in transition. One of his students went to the duty-free, and he decided to make a purchase, and you sometimes have to show your boarding pass in order to purchase something. He left his passport he left his passport at the store. So they're flying over, they're getting ready to sign the immigration cards. What's your passport number? The student goes into his bag and doesn't have his passport. He said to his teacher, I don't have my passport. They now land. His teacher had a photocopy of the passport, a photocopy of his birth certificate, and a photocopy of his license. Obviously the country said, well, that's him. He can come in, and that made the process of getting a new passport that much easier. So now you have arrived. You are in your final destination. We will now talk about what you should expect while on tour. Your EF tour director. Your EF tour director is working for you prior to your departure, during your tour, as well as after your tour. They have gone through a rigorous training, so they have a wealth of knowledge about your destination. Ask them questions because they will definitely have an answer. They go over all the tour logistics, getting the airport, getting the hotels and the meals, and getting to the sites. They have a lot of educational commentary that is going to make your tour that much more educational. They are an amazing resource for emergency. Ted talked to you about our all-inclusive insurance. They are well adversed in this. They know the hospitals to go to. They also know the police stations that are the closest to each and every destination. So definitely utilize them. Ted also talked about tour director optionals. If you have some free time, ask them suggestions that they might have. They're going to give that information to you. All the tour directors that we have are definitely, at minimum, bilingual. The majority of the tour directors that I have met that work for EF know 3 and 4 languages. They are amazing, so definitely utilize them. So the hotels that EF has, we have a few criteria that each and every hotel that we use has to have. They have to be safe. They have to have private bathrooms, and they have to be able to provide breakfast at the hotel. They also have to be either have access, road access that a bus can go down, or be near a 1-block radius near public transportation. We have 2 types of hotels that we use, the European as well as American hotels. The American style hotels in each of the cities are the ones that are going to be more in the suburban areas. Those are the hotels that we are more accustomed to in America, the chain hotels that we are more accustomed to.